What's up, everybody? Addison here. Welcome to the podcast. Janice, aka the New England Planner, is alongside of me. What's going on?
Woohoo! It's Thursday.
It's Thursday, and she's eating a cheeseburger, everybody, I think.
Yeah, I'm finishing up my cheeseburger. I'm a bad podcaster. But it was a cheeseburger that I made truffle ketchup. Yes, you
Always
can make
gotta
your own
have
truffle
something
ketchup
fancy.
at home. Yeah. And Swiss cheese, fresh avocado slices. Oh, yeah. Come on. Dog days of summer. Almost done. Gotta have a burger.
Summer's over,
Plus,
dude. People are buying crock pot meals now.
Shame on them. They should wait until temperatures dip to freezing.
Nope.
But
they don't want to wait. Everyone wants to jump.
The equinox is later on this month, of course. You know, everybody knows that when the shift goes from summer to fall. And we've got some lunar stuff going on. All kinds of good stuff that's on our page that we've posted. So, yeah, there's lots of stuff happening up in the celestial realm as well.
It needs to happen, whatever it is.
Yeah. So, how was your week?
Week's been busy.
Did you have Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Labor Day's over.
Woohoo!
Nothing nothing like working on Labor Day weekend. But I did have Labor Day off, so shout out to everybody who worked on Labor Day. You are the true OGs. So I don't know if can you see the YouTube live? You don't know what's going on? Because I'm gonna.
No, not yet.
All right, so
I like to do this portion blind.
All right, so I'm gonna explain to you what I got going on. So the photo album I'm working on in the informative group, the Ghost Pipe group that we run. So we're gonna go through some pictures. It sucks you can't see them, but
no, hold on. I'm bringing up my laptop now.
She's firing it up. So
yeah, chugga. I
figure this would be a good time just to scroll through and burn 20 minutes or 15 minutes before the show on Facebook, because the Ghost Pipe stuff people are eating up. So we're gonna continue to talk about it. The biggest topics in the group were 80 proof, 100 proof. People are hitting our group with already tinctured stuff, wondering if it's just a waste, whether they should throw it away, if it's made with a lower grade solvent. Everyone's been pretty cool about elevating their knowledge to using a higher proof, and it's been working out. So that being said,
and the important thing to know is definition of a tincture is with high proof alcohol and live plants.
Yes.
So if you're doing plant, it has to be live, roots inclusive, in some of them, and the alcohol has to be 190 proof. And you can buy it online. We've talked about that before. There's lots of outlets you can buy at Walmart, Amazon, as well as lab suppliers. And the name of it is called food grade ethanol. So if you look for 190 proof booze at Amazon, it's not going to pull it up. You put in, food grade ethanol, it'll pull it up.
Yeah.
And the very minimum I would suggest, the very minimum is 151. And Everclear is good for that. And you can pretty much get that anywhere. If you can't get it in your county or your state because of the proof, then order it online. Food grade ethanol.
Yeah, I'll show you. Watch, I'll pull it up. Just a quick Google. Yeah, ready? Bam. So there's all these different options. Food grade ethanol for tinctures. So
you can get it kosher. You can get it a vegan. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can get this.
It's 200 proof
from a lab supplier.
Let's look at the proofs, okay? So we got a comment from somebody who said, what did they say? What proof do you have about 80 not working? Can't you let it sit long enough? All this prove it wrong stuff. But here's the proof I have pulled up. Look at all these lab companies making high grades. Look at all these lab companies making specifically ethanol for tinctures and human consumption. They want the best
Yeah,
product, don't they? What are they
yeah.
making?
No,
200,
listen. When
190, you know, it's
when I when I have
go ahead.
someone
Yeah, it just
that
frustrates
that
me.
that that well, what frustrates me
Yeah,
is that they're defensive already.
yeah,
They are defending a product
yeah. Here it is, right
that,
here.
yeah. Listen, I never recommend. It's not a tincture at 80. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to break it down real easy as to why tinctures only use high proof
All right, it's gonna be a clip.
And
Ready?
yeah, here's a clip.
All right, I got your background up.
The reason why we use high proof alcohol with live plants is for food and is for shelf sustainability. Now, when you tincture a live plant will have lots of water in it naturally. That's why you don't dilute it. You don't purposely dilute, okay, when you work with live plants. You use a high proof alcohol because a high proof alcohol has the juju. It's got the power to pull the water solubles out of it, to pull all the other solubles out of it. And not only that, if I use 190 proof, let's say for ghost pipe, at the end of a cure, it is no longer 190 proof. It's probably about 130. And why is that? Because it diluted naturally, because you used a high proof alcohol. For shelf sustainability, to prevent mold and bacterial growth, it has to be around 130 proof. Or 120, 125, 130, right around there. That's why. The other reason why is because you're not getting the full benefit of that medicinal. That is unethical harvesting. Meaning, you go out there and you harvest, you want to get, the medicinal.
Yeah.
Just to take it home and have a lower proof, number one, that isn't going to pull any of that water out of the plant. It's not going to pull all the medicinal out of the plant. Why? Because they plateau. They just can't do it. That's how come a tincture is a tincture, and an elixir and an infusion and a tea use lower proof. So if you want to use lower proof and it works for you, knock yourself out. If it's about self-use, you can do whatever you want. But know this, you will take more of that plant tincture. Not a tincture, an infusion. You're going to take more than you normally would. With ghost pipe specifically, ghost pipe has 40 times the amount of salicylic acid than one aspirin. You take more of that, you start doing shots and dropperfuls and all kinds of stuff like that. Where is that parking? It is parking in your liver. That is no bueno. That's not why you do this. You don't want to give yourself, any type of liver damage or anything else by using something long-term, using more of it. We want you to use it safely. And in the end, it's everyone's own decision on what they want to use if they're using it for self-use. But don't you dare be selling that stuff, because you could actually be causing harm rather than giving somebody a benefit. Not only that, at that proof, at 80 proof or at 100 proof, at the end of that cure, you're lucky if it's 40 proof. That is going to breed mold and bacterial growth. That's why. So keep that in mind when you use it. If you're gonna use 80 and 100 proof, go for it. But don't call it a tincture. Just because it's in liquid form and in a bottle doesn't equate. That's like saying a pancake is a muffin. It's not. They're two different things. Okay. So one is getting down the terminology first, which can be hard for a lot of people because
there's a lot of misinformation. They don't hear the same repetitive thing. So like when they land in specifically our ghost pipe group, because that was even in the Penn State article. They said the biggest trouble is misinformation. That's the biggest issue with this plant. So like the fact that we're running a group called Informational group, right? We're sticking to what we know best and for the best option. So like we're not going to tell you like everything's fine. This is the best, this is what you got. This is how you make the best remedies. Tinctures, period. Specifically ghost pipe tinctures. So everyone has access to this. You don't gotta be, spreading fake news that EHD works the same. Like we've had this conversation a million times. This is going to be the nail in the coffin clip for me, because here it is for everybody to see. And there's different kinds you can get, cheaper kinds. You can go buy, anything you want at the liquor store, but the lab grade stuff it's foolproof.
You're gonna get the optimal medicinal, right? Because remember, tinctures, again, by definition, they are going to have the most optimal medicinals. That form tincture will have is always the most medicinal. So don't call it a tincture if it's an infusion.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be rude about it. We're just trying to be honest with you. Yeah. And we want you to have the best item that you're going to make, whatever that is. If you're seeking advice on making ghost pipe tinctures, I've made it with EHD when I first kind of started. I made it with 100, and I made it with Everclear, and Everclear, like, clearly big difference. And then I went into deep diving into these lab grade stuff, and this is what people aren't going to tell you.
Yeah.
Here's the part people don't want to tell you, because you're trying to get your information from your tincture makers and all these people, and they don't want you to know this shit, or they don't know it themselves, and they're just saying everything's fine, everything's cool. Yeah, you can use this, and
everything's
you can use
fine,
that.
everything's
you can use 200, or you can use 100. It still works.
Every book that people will reference, and they'll say, well, this person said to do it this way, and then I look up the books, and every single time the authors will say, you tincture in high proof alcohol.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay if you use 180. Yeah, they CYA.
Because they tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear, all right? Because they're trying to sell their book and their items and all sorts of shit.
Right. But the other thing is that it's perpetuated by others who may not write books, because they're automatically dumbing it down.
I just had some big thunder here. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
Oh, that's okay. They automatically want to dumb it down for people instead of giving everybody the right information. Listen, we're educated consumers as Americans, especially living in this world right now with all the poisons that are in our food and everything that RFK is doing, wiping out the CDC to restart over again. Americans are educated consumers. I would like to believe that. So with that being said, if someone's coming and they're coming to ask us, hey, how do you do this ghost pipe tincture? Guys, I'm open sourcing a method that has been on lockdown for over 250 years. That I'm open sourcing my methods. So take advantage of that and realize that you can elevate, and you don't have to do minimum.
Yeah.
Because we deserve more than minimum.
The standard needs to be risen, and you're raising it, and I'm raising it, and we're raising awareness about it, because dude, like, can't be having,
I don't want anybody getting hurt. I want everybody to understand the medicinal value of this plant, so it's not shrouded in mysticism anymore.
Yeah, specifically ghost pipe.
And the whole cut versus pull. You pull, you don't cut.
We handled that last time.
Yeah, you can't cut. Yeah. Don't cut this, because you're that root clutch that you just cut from is really going to die out within the next year or two.
Well, let me pull up
it's too crowded. It'll be too crowded.
Let me pull up some. Are you able to see the photographs now or whatever?
As soon as I pick up our page, I will. I'm so engulfed in this.
In the EHD thing? Yeah, I know. Dude. You get all worked up and pissed.
Well, Well, because it's not a tincture.
I
it's
know.
an infusion.
I'm very nice about explaining it to people, but they still seem to like some people combat it. Like I've had a few DMs and they're like, yeah, but you could still, and I'm like, listen, I'm not here to tell you how to do anything. I'm just giving you the best way that there is to make this item and tincture, and you might not like it, but it's the truth.
I have an issue with it.
And the truth shall set you free.
Yeah, I have an issue with it because it could hurt somebody. That's why.
Well,
they're taking more than they should, and you got these vendors,
and they're harvesting the wrong flowers
at
too.
home cottages. They're harvesting it. They're tincturing it in 180 or 80 proof, and then they're selling it to the public. Know this, everybody. Know this very well. I have gotten more clients from bad vendors in the last year alone. I have replaced for free tinctures for a lot of people because listen, if you don't know how to make these tinctures, don't do it. Okay, don't sell it because somebody else has to pick up your mess, and somebody else, meaning the consumer who buys it, what you're doing is you're perpetuating something pretty nasty, which is that ghost pipe tincture may not work for them. That was their last ditch effort at holistic and homeopathy.
Yeah, then they say this
they throw their toys down and say holistic is crap, it doesn't work.
They do.
And you're part of that problem. If you're selling it that's been tinctured in 180.
Well, if you're not upfront about it either, like I am guilty of doing that 3 or 4 years ago, but dude, I told people what I made it with, what it was made of, and it's up to you guys to try it. You know what I mean? Like you got people who are hiding behind what they're making and saying that, like, you know, they're copycatting. So it's like, at least if you are making it with a lower proof or something, just make sure your consumer knows. That's my advice, because then they can't. What I'm saying is they can't really like bitch back at you, because you know.
You can get sued.
Yeah.
You hurt somebody.
Yeah.
You can get in a lot of trouble. Okay, but it does nothing for the holistic community.
But for people that, for you know, as somebody that's been through that myself, I'm not afraid to talk about my experiences and my mess ups and my mistakes in the past. You got to be upfront with your clients, 100%. So that's the end of that topic. We got 1 minute till we got to go live. So that's where I'm at.
The part, not just telling your clients about the 80/100 proof, you got to tell them the difference of why, and it has to be labeled correctly. It's an infusion. It's not a tincture. Because you got newbies that don't know about this. They don't know about holistic methods. They're coming in for the first time.
No, they don't.
So don't work against the community and make somebody give
for
up
the record,
on holistic methods.
For the record, that wasn't an advice or try and justify anything. That's just like bare minimum you can do for somebody if you are doing that. You know what I mean? So
it's ethical. It's the ethical thing to do. It really
and like
is.
so we're about to go Facebook Live. Let me hit the reset button. Man, you got me fired up. So we're gonna enter this chill episode. Like, what's up, everybody? We're all. If you're tincturing with 80, your ass is out of here. You better be telling people you're tincturing great. All right, ready? I'm gonna do an intro.
No, you want to tincture an 80 and 100, and it's just for self-use, go for it.
Right.
But no, don't take more of it.
All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Addison here. Alongside me is the New England planter. Video is starting.
Hi, everybody.
So we're live right now. Hey, what's up, everybody? We're hanging out on a Thursday night. Do you know what day it is? Like, why Philadelphia is like a holiday right now, Jan? I want to ask you. Do you know?
Let's see. Today is what? September the 4th? Is today the 4th? Yes.
Yes. What's happening?
And it's a holiday.
It's a holiday in Philadelphia. It's considered a Philadelphia holiday. I'll give you one.
Rocky.
You're close. What else? Sports. What else? Come on. I'm wearing the
Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, what's happening tonight?
I don't
Thursday.
know. Football?
Thursday night football. Eagles versus the Dallas Cowgirls. So it is storming its ass off outside my window. I mean, it is raining sideways too. So keep that in mind.
Cowgirls.
So Eagles versus Dallas is a very big game. I know this is a foraging group, but I thought I'd bring that up for our football fans and whatnot.
But
Anyways,
I'm a Ravens girl.
You're a Ravens fan. How does it?
I love the Ravens, and of course, I love Kansas City for.
Oh my God, dude! You're from New England.
Yeah, I know, but Patrick Mahomes, come on!
You didn't like Tom Brady this whole time in the Patriots?
I hated Tom Brady.
Oh my God, dude, you're great. You know, I like you more than I thought.
Yeah, I hate Tom Brady.
Oh my God, that's great.
Nobody should look like a Ken doll at that age. That's
good.
That's a QB, number one, and he needs more scars on his face.
Oh
and maybe he'll be more likable. But I mean, no, I didn't like Brady because of the whole commercialism of it.
That's great. I love that answer. And what about Bill Belichick? He's weird too. He's another New Englander.
He's a dirty old man. He's dating somebody that's old enough to be his granddaughter for crying out loud.
Well, his college team got wiped the floor with, so he got embarrassed on a national level. So, anyways, we'll move on for that. So, go Birds, everybody. Go Eagles. Sorry about Dallas fans tonight. I hope I don't. I hope I don't eat this. They call us the Sheagles. You know that? The Sheagles?
No, I never heard that. But Dallas, when I was a kid, the rivalry in the 70s, mid to late 70s, was the Steelers and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They were the Steelers and the Cowboys. To watch those games, it was phenomenal to watch Terry Bradshaw when he was still playing. I mean, and all those old players. That was when football was smash. You hear the helmet bang and everything else like that.
And they weren't getting paid billions.
MMA in the old days.
They were doing it.
No, they weren't.
They were doing it for the sport.
And Joe Namath is what is of my generation, Gen Xer, is what Tom Brady is to millennials.
I don't like Tom Brady either. I'm glad the Eagles beat him. Dude, I remember that night. That was crazy. Yeah, he's going to be an announcer, so you're just going to nonstop hear him for the rest of our lives.
I don't have to hear him at all.
No, I guess you don't.
I can hit the mute or watch another station because I think we've all had enough of Tom Brady the last decade.
Yeah, so, well, they're getting. They don't think enough. So get ready to get some more. Hey, I want to bring something up. So we're in our Facebook group. So we're going to talk about something we haven't talked about yet. And this mushroom is going to be getting popular soon. So Birch Polypore, I came across it for not the first time. This is the first time I harvested some. So can you give me like your rundown, like make this your official clip? You know what I'm saying? Give me the Birch Polypore.
All right.
What do you do when you come across this?
Let's roll the clip. Okay, when you see a shelf mushroom coming off of what is very easily identified as a birch tree, okay, birch trees, whether it's down, whether it's still up, you're going to see this light tan capped shelf with a white polypore surface. It looks like a big marshmallow that's kind of puffing out. And you're going to see that, and that is Hypopitys betulina, a.k.a. the Birch Polypore. Interesting to know about the Birch Polypore. When they found the Iceman, everybody will remember, they found a Neanderthal that was buried in ice a few years back. He had a lanyard. On that lanyard was Birch Polypore.
Really?
Yep. You know why?
Enlighten me.
Come on.
I mean, I think I know because you kind of told me earlier, but
because Neanderthals used to eat wild game and stuff like that. Wild game can have I know, right? They didn't have McDonald's.
I wish I could live like that. That'd be great. It's like a superpower.
Birch Polypore is an excellent way to clean out your gut. That's why. And so, all these parasite cleanses out there and all this Ivor and people don't do that. It's ivermectin, the veterinary paste that you can get at Tractor Supply and all those kind of places, and you can buy online. They're finding a lot of them are counterfeit on Amazon, number one. And it's no wonder, because a lot of the scammers you'll find in a lot of these forums that want to blame parasites on everything from a headache to menstrual cramps or, brain cancer, and they want to scare people and show these doctor pictures of after they wipe themselves and they go to the bathroom. What is this? Well, that's just a bunch of syrup that you put in a tissue paper, and you're trying to show everybody and gross them out.
The scammers are out of this world right now, but keep going.
But they will say, oh, you can buy it here on Amazon. Guess what? That's probably the counterfeit stuff that you're buying. And the thing is with the Ivor, I believe it has a place if it's bought from reputable places and it's made for human consumption. But know this, it is synthesized and it's owned by Big Pharma.
There you
Bada
go.
Bing. Okay. So if you don't want Big Pharma and you don't want synthetics and you want to use all natural, you can make yourself a Birch Polypore tea. And Birch Polypore is great for that. And it'll, get you going. It'll clean out your gut. But that's what turkey tail and reishi.
Now, tail and
reishi do a good job with that anyway.
I plan on making a tincture with this because I read up on that too. And just so I can, learn a little bit more about making mushroom tinctures.
Mm-hmm.
What same way as a reishi type deal, or is it same thing?
Same
right?
way, same thing. See how easy this is?
Yeah. So I already did it. I already followed your method, and I'm waiting for it to be cracker dry so I can tear it up and make my item, make my tincture.
Yep. Cracker dry, slice it, cracker dry. But the
cool.
good thing is if you see these out in the woods and they're fresh.
There was a lot.
There's some end of summers that I come out of, these forests, and I've literally got so much that it's filled 2 baskets, and I've had to take off a shirt or a jacket and make a makeshift, bag with it.
Well, I might go get more. So like potentially, like if you're taking, you could take this tincture daily, right? It says it has the beta glucans and all that.
Everything in moderation.
That's what
I mean, Birch Polypore isn't the go-to for a heavy medicinal.
It didn't seem like it. It's just more of something you would make for yourself and.
Right, and it's good for like a tea every now and then. You can make a tea and put it in the fridge. It'll be good in the fridge.
Cool. I saw it was good in soups and stocks.
Yeah. Well, listen.
That's what it said. That's what the internet said.
I know, but Birch, don't eat Birch Polypore. There's shiitake's good for that.
Yeah, it smelled more like survival food to me.
Yes, Birch Polypore is very bitter. Okay, and you'll find out when you make a tea with it. Okay, so when you make a tea with it,
doesn't smell bitter.
Well, wait until you smell it when you start making a tea.
I tell you what, Jen, there's a crazy storm going outside my window right now, so I hope we don't lose power. But bam, I just saw lightning strike.
Well, let's get back to the Birch Polypore then before you shut down.
I ain't shutting down, but I'm just throwing my feelers out.
If you're out in the field and you get a cut or an injury, okay, you want a Birch Polypore because you peel off the Polypore pad. You cut it around the lip and it peels right away. That is a sterile field dressing, everybody. And it cleans the wounds. And the wounds will definitely heal in half the amount of time that it would if you didn't use a Birch Polypore on it. You use it just like you would a Band-Aid / plaster.
Yeah, it almost replicates a Band-Aid. Like when you touch this area and feel it, if it has a texture of that, like it could absorb some.
It's nice. It's like nice and mushy. But when you peel the pad off, the inside surface is what the sterile field is. Okay, so the inside surface is what is going to go down on your cut. You could put it in place using tape. If it's a big cut, duct tape. If it's your finger or someplace on your hand, you can then cover that with a Band-Aid. I only recommend, like I did a cut. I cut myself a couple years ago, and I was out in the field, and I got home, and I had I grabbed some Birch Polypore on the way home. Because I'm diabetic and I've got a bleeding disease, which means that, my blood doesn't clot normally. It'll just free bleed. So, I get home, I wash the wound, I debride it. I think I got everything out, right? And I said, okay, I'm going to put Birch Polypore on it and see how it happens. Because diabetics, our wound healing isn't as great sometimes. And I put it on, and within 10 minutes, after I put on the pad, I wrapped a Band-Aid around it, so just so that it kept the Birch Polypore on the cut. It wasn't working as a Band-Aid. And within 10 minutes, my pinky started heating up, and it almost felt like something was pulling on where the wound was, ever so slightly, but it was enough that I was paying attention. And after the 10-minute mark, it stayed really hot for like maybe another 20 minutes after that. And my finger even looked a little red. And it calmed down. It wasn't as hot. And I said, okay, I don't know what's going on. I went to bed. The next morning I woke up and I took off the Band-Aid and I peeled the Birch Polypore off. And there was an exact imprint of my cut. And on where the cut was, there was also specks of dirt.
Wow, pulled everything out. That
Birch Polypore pulled it all out, and my wound healed in literally half the time it normally would have.
Now, what about a bee sting that I received last week? Something like that might help? No, that's more for plantain type thing.
Yeah, you had an allergic reaction. You need to get to the doctor.
I almost posted that. Remember, we had a member that posted about Yellow Jackets. I was this close to posting a picture of my arm and say, "Yeah, tell me about it." I need, but I didn't because
that was Tracy.
It probably would have scared somebody, but yeah, I didn't want to post that. But yeah, if you want to see my arm in Popeye form, just text me. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, no kidding. It looked hilarious.
It was funny.
I don't know what other way to say.
I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. I'm trying to grill. I was like, hold on, let me use my strong arm, and I used my bee sting arm, and it looked like a monster. But now it's good. Look, there it is right there. Well, you can see the
swelling is gone down?
Oh, it's totally down. It's just red, and you can see the sting zone, dude. So yeah, that's where I got hit once. So everybody.
Yeah, you need it.
Whoa! Did you hear that thunder, man? I'm nervous. Yeah, that was.
I don't hear anything. Let's put our fingers and just go. Wah.
I got my headphones on. That shit shook my house. All right. I'm gonna pull up our next. Right. I'm gonna pull up our next group item here. It's a. It was a little discussion.
Polypores, like that picture that you have. Nature does some funky things. So look how, it's not a perfect Birch Polypore that was in your picture. It was one that looked like it had another offshoot coming off.
Yeah, there was a ton of them on that log.
Yeah, you're going to have some. All right. This was a good one from this week.
Yeah, let's dive into this. So, member posted this. She listened to our podcast and whatnot from, I don't know which one she listened to, but Monotropa Hypopitys, aka.
Can we tap on that for a second? Sarah made a comment about. She said Birch Polypore is an anti-inflammatory. I need that for my shoulder. Hi, Sarah.
Sorry, all I see was. I'm not seeing many.
Sarah,
here you go.
We can definitely walk you through making a tea, but you've got the turkey tail and the reishi, and those are the best anti-inflammatories, even better than Birch Polypore. So, just so you know that. But yeah, okay, back to the ghost pipe picture.
So, it's hard to tell if this is ghost pipe or pine sap. In my opinion, I thought it was pine sap right out of the gate. I'm looking at the color, but I'm not really looking at the color. I'm looking at these these two heads in the middle, from my vision, it looks like these heads are growing multiple. So that's why I thought it was pine sap. You think it's ghost pipe, right?
It's definitely ghost
You
pipe.
think it's definitely? You think this is definitely ghost pipe?
1,000%.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm gonna zoom in.
Tell you why.
And this flower head looks different. This is the only one, because I was looking at it too. I was like, that looks kind of like ghost pipe, yeah, blah blah. But this one I zoomed in on. You see it?
Yeah. But let me tell you what the telltale sign is. That is still only one head. What is confusing you is the coloring. Because
well, I haven't seen ghost pipe with that head ever.
Yeah, but that's just because it's got some nutrients in there and it's coloring.
I don't know, man.
The petals.
I have a picture of Hypopitys just like this. Listen, these ones look like ghost pipe.
Here's the real reason why, Addie. You ready for this one?
I don't know.
You know how the root sac is on ghost pipe, right?
Yes.
It's like a hockey puck of sawdust. You are not going to see Hypopitys in that same pipe, in with the pipes. You're not. And will they grow next to each other? Yes. Is there a chance that one that you're pointing to might be a Hypopitys? If you look at the crook of the neck, you see how there's just that one turn?
Yeah.
If you zoom in real close.
I'm zoomed in to the maximum, actually.
There isn't multiple flower heads there. It's just one.
Well, one neck, right? This is what you're looking at?
No. One neck.
I'm looking at these here. This is what I'm identifying. See, 1, 2, 3. So if this kept growing, it would.
Hypopitys doesn't grow right next to a root clutch ghost pipe.
I don't know. I think we're at a crossroad with opinion here. I think you're probably right, but I am questioning it. I think I'm going to leave my feeler out.
Listen, I questioned it too because and then she followed up with some additional pictures.
Did she? See, I didn't follow up with that.
Yeah.
Frick.
You got to look at her comment section.
All right.
With additional pictures, and I broke it down for her. I said, yep, those are. But the ones in that picture that you pull up, I said the same thing. I go, could be, it looks like Hypopitys, doesn't it? But
well, yeah, you said it was ghost pipe, and I was like, no, I saw one that has multiple, like, teardrops coming out of the face of it, the flower head, instead of just like a single, like these two. But yeah, I thought it was cool to break down. Let me pull up another picture here. I got another one. We'll
pull up another one because the other thing to consider is, you see how short these guys are? They're really short and they're colorful. They're colorful because they're nutrients. This signals the end of ghost pipe season for that clutch. It does. It's getting all the nutrients it can to feed it back. It's going to feed it back into the root system of that plant and get it ready for a long winter's nap.
All right, I got two more pictures. Here's another one. This one more looks like up close and personal too. Here, I'll zoom in on this guy. That does look like a ghost pipe flower right there at the top.
Yeah.
But this one looks like a Hypopitys flower.
I think she probably collected some Hypopitys in with the ghost pipe. So then her next question was, should she tincture them separately, or is it okay if she put it all in one thing? First of all, bravo. She used Everclear.
Yeah.
Bravo.
I got her picture up right here of her item so far.
Good girl. She got so she put them all in 151. The good thing is, she went out and she got more, because you see the ratio solvent to flower. It's, even though that's a small jelly jar, you still want to pack that up as much as you can, and the solvent only to cover. She went back out and she got more of the pipes to add. So she's good. She got it all sorted. She had some of the Dutchman's pipe on the other side, and which is the little jelly jar, I believe. But she did separate them. But the ones that she kept all inclusive, she had it all in the Everclear bottle, and she was fine. But she didn't say whether she brought the Everclear bottle with her, and I'm assuming because she had the bottle and she had them in the bottle.
Yeah, I don't
She
know.
didn't have a mason. Either she didn't have a mason jar at home, and she just used the bottle for it,
Yeah.
which you can do, but it's a nightmare because she used a long neck bottle, so she's not going to be able to get those pipes out
I
of
know.
that bottle.
It's going to be hard. You're
And
going to need some kind of
a coat
something.
hanger or something. Yeah, she
I've
can
done the
stick
same
something in
thing.
there to haul it out. Yeah, you can haul it out because when you want to transfer it. But by the way, you don't have to transfer it into tincture bottles. You don't. You can let that plant soak in there for 7 years, as far as I'm concerned. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to be a fine wine, and you can dose directly from there. Maybe stick a turkey baster in there to pull out or pour it into another container, like she did the jelly jar, things like that. And and it's fine. You can use it. But she did a great job, and I'm very proud of her.
Thanks for posting that.
Going out there and doing it. Yeah,
because
absolutely.
posts like that is exactly why we made the group, to have these debates. And I think the debate is still out on this one. I'm not calling that a monotropa flower right there. I'm not doing it.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh man,
they have the same medicinal value.
I know.
And when you tincture them, they turn purple.
Yeah.
Now, Hypopitys is also known as Dutchman's pipe or golden seal. Golden seal, because it tends to look a golden color. Now, what's cool about it when you get these red colorings, because remember the mycelium that is associated with ghost pipe is the rusula. The rusula, the brittle gill, it's got a little short, stamen, and it's got, a red cap on it. They call it brittle gill because if you pull one of those things and throw it against a tree, it explodes all over the place. It's really brittle like that.
Yeah.
But that is one of the mycelial layers that ghost pipe parasitizes. That symbiotic relationship between the rustula, mycelium, and certain tree roots, they feed each other.
Yeah.
And ghost pipe parasitizes that gas pump. In other words, it'll go underground. It'll take that. So that red coloring that you see, that is a rustula.
Yeah. So I got it pulled up too, so we can look at some different variations.
Yeah, and that's a Hypopitys. You can definitely tell the many flower heads on that. You see all those flower heads?
See, I thought it was looking more like this one, but it's just yellow and red. See how these heads are coming up? That's what I thought.
Yeah, but
those were going to turn into something like that.
No, you'd definitely be able to see that's monotropa right there. That's ghost pipe. So it's the coloring, I think, that messed with my eyes, has also messed with your eyes. But I really think that she got some Hypopitys in there, because when I looked at her
I think she does.
bottle,
I think she's got Hypopitys. Not all of it, but I think
not all of it. She got some Hypopitys in there, because if you look at her Everclear bottle, you can see one of the buds that are floating up to the top. And that's definitely a multiple head one. That's
pretty cool though. So either way, it's gonna do the same thing you want it to do. It's just Hypopitys tinctures and pine sap tinctures are, I don't know, they're just kind of like the rare Pokemon of ghost pipe are fine. It's like the hologram. It's like cool.
Go back to a couple pictures.
This one?
Nope. Other one. I almost said it in French. Now I'll go back. It looked like it was white and red striped. No, go up.
This one?
No, go up. Scroll up, Addie. Or are you at the top?
I'm all the way at the top.
That one, yeah, that one right there. Okay. You see how? No, go back. You just got it, honey. No, go down.
Well, dude, the live video is like 3 minutes behind, so.
All right. Well, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
The stem looked a little white, and the leaves looked red. The leaves on the stem going up looked red. That in Victorian times, they used to use Monotropa in Hypopitys too, for that matter. They call it candy canes because of the red and white coloring in it, and they used to use it in floral arrangements and in dried floral arrangements too. Everybody, there it is, right there. They used to put them in wreaths and stuff like that. So here's an interesting take on how they call it candy cane, because
they would use it to flex on each other, like, look at my rare flower.
Yeah,
and then if they were starting to get anxious at a party, they could eat it.
Yes, and make a tea with it.
Yeah, they're
and
like, hold
else
on.
like that.
This George Washington's, he's really stressing me out. Let me put in one of my pine saps. But yeah, I think there's another article that mentions pine sap in that ghost pipe deep dive through Penn State, and it has like the original first ever let me see if I can find it. It has like the first ever like written, case of pine sap like being documented. It was by like some guy like 1790s or something.
I like the common name Dutchman's pipe.
I like pine sap. That's what I've been saying.
I've always liked the Dutchman's pipe because it resembles one of those old pipes. It really does.
Yeah.
And usually they're like a gold color, but like last year on my fall foray, you remember I collected a bunch of Hypopitys that was red and gold. It was the last stages. They were going to bed. It was, beginning of October when I was down at the Connecticut shoreline. So, yeah, they're really striking.
Yeah, I found it. Check this out. It's going to be cool. You there? All right, I just got another wicked lightning and thunder. I thought everything just cut off.
I heard it. I heard boom.
All right, here we go. Check this out. All right, this is going to be a cool clip. All right. Originally, when was this written? 1960. This was written in 1960. And in 1840, however, Unger regarded Monotropa as a parasite. So 1840...
It was a parasite.
So yeah,
it is a parasite, and it's amazing that they knew that 150 years ago.
Yeah.
When they didn't have all the equipment that we have now. I mean, look at what Penn State is doing. It's taking them. It's going to take them a while to do the biochemical breakdown because they said that they're finding so many, biochemical agents that are in it that can work and. And to name them all, it's taking them a while.
Yeah, they said there's
so can you
thousands.
imagine in the 1800s, they knew this. They knew this because my ancestors, and then again, I've got a benefit of knowing something about my ancestors, but Native Americans especially. Have been using this traditionally for hundreds of years. And in Asia, they've been using it for millennia.
Yeah,
the Asian form that we talked about earlier in a podcast a few months back, genetically, they're not the same as the ones that grow here in North America, in the United States specifically. They're genetically different, but it's the same plant. So the ones that grow here in North America, everybody's I'm waiting for bated breath for Penn State, to do the biochem analysis and to finish it up, because the last time it's been done was in 1892. And in 1892, think about those, rudimentary, what kind of biochem analysis were they doing in 1892?
I'll read you something
what we've got now.
That was a theory in 1826. This theory of that it being a root parasite, I'm reading this out loud for our listeners, was refuted by Graves, Curtis, and Hooker. These were plant physiologists back then, I guess.
Yeah, Graves was a
so this was 1826, among others, who physically showed that Monotropa roots were actually quite free from the tree roots, although intermixed with them in the soil. The first to observe that Monotropa roots are normally enveloped by fungal hyphae was Elias Fry's in 1832. So before 1832, they were studying
They
this. So that was
they
when
have been
oh my God. So
they've been trying to regrow this flower
well,
for
he also gave the
hundreds of years. You
fungus.
can't.
He gave this fungal hyphae a separate name. So there's a fungus that surrounds the roots that it's helping ghost pipe. I guess I don't know this. Dude, when you deep
Well,
dive into
now I know. Well, now we
this, it
know.
gets crazy. So what do we know since
Yeah.
then?
Well, now we know it's
200
parasitic.
years later, almost.
It hooks into the mycelial and the tree root, and this goes back to cutting versus pulling.
Yeah.
When you cut, you're not helping anything. You're not helping that clutch of flower grow. And this whole 1/3 take only 1/3 thing, that's only with dead and expired ghost pipe. Okay, it doesn't transfer into harvest techniques for live. The reason why you pull, and very gently, by the way, and it takes a lot of years to learn how to do this, because there's certain ghost pipe that you pull and there's some that you leave, and for good reason, because you want to get the most medicinal ones. And as Addie has put up, plenty of pictures in the ghost pipe informative group, where he shows how some flower heads can have indigo hues, some of the
you can get
some of the stem.
You can get some
can have
just off the bat, are going to be good just by looking at them. Some of them you got to dig down and pick the best ones. It's
right.
It takes a while to learn that a little bit.
It does,
and
what
it takes a lot
really
of ghost pipe to go through. Most people only find a handful, and then they don't have 175 clutches to look at a year or whatever.
Right.
I got.
What really takes people a long time to do is to know how to pull without disturbing the root sound.
Yeah.
Because they're easily pulled up, and you don't want to do that. Okay, that is unethical.
Yeah.
And like I've said before, you can do it once to take it home to get practical knowledge so that you understand how it grows, but don't do it. Try not to do it a second time. I'm not going to advocate pulling it up, but I'm definitely going to advocate pulling it up at least once so that you get practical knowledge of this.
I even took the photo of that root ball, and I didn't mean to take.
And you put it on.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't mean to actually harvest all of those flowers from it, but there was actually a few of them that they were weakest. They were weak. So I figured I took the time, I cleared it out, and I took the picture of the root. I have a video of me just tapping on it too, and you can see that it's almost just freely sitting in the soil, almost like free, like it's attached to things, but it's like it's just like this article so great from the 1800s. He said he spoke of the adventitious roots from Monotropa that penetrated into the roots of the beech and spruce. It was not until 1881-82 that Kaminsky established definitely that Monotropa lives quite independently of the tree roots. So he also.
It does.
Yeah.
So here's where unethical harvesting versus ethical harvesting come in. Okay, it's unethical to cut, because when you cut, okay, you're leaving the portion that is the most medicinal, which is the root. In a live plant, roots are always going to be the most medicinal of a plant. Okay, the reason why you do that is because you also propagate. You are going to grow that ghost pipe clutch even more for the next year, because you're giving it room to grow more flowers. Because we all know we can come across some ghost pipe clutches that are very dense, and when they start getting dense like that, they don't have enough nutrients for all the flowers. So guess what? It dies back because it's overcrowded. Just like roadside daylilies, those orange daylilies everybody sees, those hemercalis. You're gonna. So when you pull up a few of the most potent ones, not all of them, you pull them up, you're gonna hear a snap. That's fine. and you're not going to get the whole root, by the way. There's going to be root that's still in there. That's why you hear the snap. And what happens afterwards when you pull versus cut is this. That clutch will grow bigger. When it grows bigger, the mushrooms benefit and the tree roots grow farther.
Yeah.
All three benefit. That is ethical harvesting.
Yeah.
So I hope that we put that to bed.
We won't.
Versus the pull.
We'll be talking about it for the rest of our careers. That's where we make our bread and butter. That's going to be a clip. Thank you, Jen, for clipping. Hey, check this. I'm in the wormhole of Hypopitys right now. So are you seeing the screen?
Are, but we don't want to get too much in the wormhole.
Well, listen, we got time. No one's really asking me for anything. Right. So I want to just want to take a look at this. So this is the actual report that they're pulling all that paperwork from we were just reading about. So this is an actual, I guess you could get this ebook, but it's not in English, it's in German, and it is the one from 1870s. It's all about Hypopitys and Monotropa and its relationship with the white pine and the beech tree. And I can't read any of this, but let me tell you, we're probably the first people to look at this in forever. So anybody watching, I mean, I'm sure I could convert this to English and whatnot, but look how detailed this is.
Wait a minute. What language is it in? Is it in Latin?
It looks like it's in German or something. I don't.
It might be Latin
or Swedish.
Latin or German. I don't know.
Let's see. It's written. Yeah, I don't know, but listen, I'm going to share this. All right, to our comment section just so it's there forever, and I don't have to go through rabbit holes to find it because this is the kind of stuff I like looking at, the stuff that nobody's gonna dig up and read about. You know, this guy gave us from 1873, or the 1800s. He's given us the answers already to the test. Imagine if he was here right now, witnessing people talk like us on a computer about pine sap and using it, making tinctures. He'd be like thrilled. He'd be like, dude, I want to tell you all about what I know. you know what I'm saying? Like this gentleman, I wish I could read some of this. But yeah, there's
since I speckins a little bit of the Deutsch,
I don't know. Here, I'll give you the title. Here's the title. Unter Verschlandstender hin. That's for the that's for people that'll laugh.
I'm gonna do a deep dive. Yeah, that's German. Yeah, the biology of Monotropa Hypopitys.
Yeah, so it was
Notia natus avis L.
Yeah, it's
deep biology.
So I'll tell you where it came from. Let's get back. This is the article.
The book is talking about the biology of Hypopitys.
Yeah, and it's from 1873.
Yeah, by Oscar.
So it's pretty cool. That might be the oldest Monotropa article. Well, actually, it's not the oldest, but it's one of the oldest. So listen, this brings me to my next point. Like, this was an art form back then that they took, that they were using, right, and researching hardcore on, and it went away for what, over 100 years, and now just the past 5, 6, 7 years, it's becoming more popularized.
Imagine that it went away when the Rockefellers decided to shut down holistic hospitals and go pharma. Okay, so that's where this went. Okay, but the smart people, Native Americans especially, have been using this for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm salivating at the mouth and waiting for the biochemical analysis to be done is because in Native American cultures, they even use the water from the live plant, the juice. They squeeze the plant, get all that water out, and they use it for ophthalmic diseases. Live. They squeeze it, they put it in the eyeball, and it's supposed to help with glaucoma and a bunch of other stuff.
And you know,
So
the tip of ghost pipe
that's what
looks like
I'm
an
waiting for.
eyedropper. The tip of ghost pipe
Yeah.
looks like an eyedropper too. It's almost like how nature gives you these things that naturally look
Yes.
like the tool that you would need to help you. Just like the Polypore being a
Hallelujah.
Band-Aid
Yeah.
or a bandage.
Hallelujah.
You know, so all the
Hallelujah.
there's a plant
Listen,
that I
yeah.
was looking at, and it's for helping with snake bites specifically. It's called rattlesnake, downy rattlesnake plantain. Are you familiar with that
And it
one?
probably looks like a
The
rattlesnake.
leaf is looks like a snake skin. So let me pull up
just like
plantain.
lion's mane. Just like lion's mane helps with brain function. You cut a lion's mane, it looks like a brain.
Yeah.
So nature gives you clues that what it looks like is what it can help.
Yeah, here's my plantain bit. There you go. Do you get this up there? I have it all over the place. It's a good sign of a healthy forest floor.
Yeah, so is ghost pipe.
But you notice the leaves here?
We do. Listen, we do have those here.
Yeah.
And they're striking and they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They really are.
They
really
pop
pretty.
up right before ghost pipe, I noticed too. Not the flowering part, but the leaves. They'll sprout.
Yeah, the flowers are really pretty.
The flowers come in kind of later, but it's pretty cool. You can take this plant and the leaves here, you can split them long ways and put them on your snake bite. I don't know if it'll help you with a rattlesnake bite, but that's the nickname, rattlesnake plantain. Sure, it would help.
Yeah.
Wildflower of the year in 2016, according to the Virginia Native Plants. Let's just look at it for a second here. Let's see what they say. Evergreen orchid. It's a perennial.
Yeah.
It is covered lightly by leaf litter.
And you can see it right out in the leaf litter because they're a beautiful green color. And it's they're beautiful leaves. But the telltale is the white stripe, and like you said, it looks like snake skin.
Yeah, it does. And there's not too much information on this website. It's kind of pretty standard. But it says the roots do have a mycorrhizal relationship with the fungi that assists the plant in acquisition of moisture and nutrients, while the plant provides products of its photosynthesis to feed the fungus. So that's pretty cool. So it does, tap into the internet a little bit, but it gives back. Ghost pipe takes. So this one is pretty cool. So maybe
it has a symbiotic relationship rather than a parasitic relationship.
I'm going to put this on the list of good things to look for before your ghost pipe is popping up. If this grows there, you have a good little forest floor going, right?
Yeah, here in Maine, I see these more in like May.
Yeah, same.
It was the same type. So here's a clue. When those come up, right next to them, there's usually morels. Morels won't be far from these guys.
Really? I find these a lot, and I don't find morels near them, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they won't be far. Okay, I don't mean within a foot, but keep looking around, and you might find some morels when these guys start coming up, because they all come up at the same time. And whenever I find morels, I will find this plantain next, not too far from them. That's why that's the area that I know to look, because the forest floor is perfect for a morel right there. Same type of environment. They love it. It's good to go.
I found morels real quick and on just a little tiny patch of them. And I was like, oh, this is going to be easy the rest of the year. Dude, I didn't find nothing. So I struck out big time. So boo me.
They're very elusive, morels.
Yeah.
They can be, because in different climates and different altitudes, they grow really small. And if you get a year like we had this year, where there's a ton of leaf litter that didn't get blown out by the northern winds in the springtime, then we had a drought. All those morels were underneath the leaf litter. That's when I want to take my battery-operated leaf blower out with me and blow
Go
off
clear
the
them
leaf
out.
litter. But that's not ethical because
No.
listen, Mother Earth needs a resting period. So as much as I've been complaining about the drought this year, and it hasn't been this bad for mushrooms in probably 20 years, let alone ghost pipe, especially in my area. I haven't seen anything like this in over 20 years. Have I seen this before? Absolutely. So know this. Because you didn't get them ghost pipe and some of those mushrooms popping up this year when they should have, imagine the banner year we're going to have next year with ghost pipe.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be unbelievable. So, hang on, Mother Earth and the Terra, they also need a resting period sometimes. So look at it that way. Just, don't get discouraged. Keep going out. If there's a trail that that you've gotten ghost pipe or other type of mushrooms on religiously for years,
it'll be
there.
back.
It'll be back. Just keep going back. If you go back every 3 days, 3 to 4 days on a trail that has given you some ghost pipe in the past, and you didn't see any when you went out, say on a Saturday, go back on Tuesday. Walk that same trail because you're going to see a few pop up. Just keep going. Don't give up. This is your time to get educated and to elevate and to maybe find other mushrooms that you may see that you don't know about. Take a picture of it in situ. Take it, then take it home and study about it. It gives you time to rest too, because the forest is literally like the movie Avatar. Everything is alive, everything is talking, everything is communicating with each other. They warn when danger is. They'll put out phytochemicals in the ground. They'll make it more acidic, so other things can't grow there. They compete, and the forest is literally alive. And every step that you take into that forest, on the bottom of your shoe, you are carrying spores into it. You are carrying spores from one area to another.
Yep.
So you yourself, just walking in the forest, you're helping it. So have fun with it, and it's great exercise too. Okay, let's talk about the deer wasting disease.
Yeah, we have about 12 minutes left, and we're going to spend this time on just something I came across in a state park, some game lands near central Pennsylvania. And this is becoming a common scene, something that we're not used to seeing. So I'm going to play the video I made of it, and we'll pause it and we'll talk about it. And then maybe we'll look up what we need to know, what we don't need to know. Now, I know this is pissing hunters off in the area, so they don't like this. So I'll play it and we'll see what it is, right? So it's a free testing chronic wasting disease. So CWD, people know it as air quotations, the zombie deers, right? Where their skin their flesh is falling off, and it's just terrible for their mouths, and it's a nightmare for your forest. So one of these drop-offs popped up nearby, so I stopped and filmed it.
All right, something I've never seen before. This chronic wasting disease testing bin, if you will, is for collecting deer heads only. You can see the instructions written there. Now,
all right, so free chronic wasting disease testing. Now, you're directed deer heads only, so not to put clothing in, or this isn't a Goodwill bin for shoes or whatnot. You leave your deer tag on the ear, write your name on it, blah blah blah, place it in the provided bag, yada yada yada. The catch is they keep your head. So if you here's like a hunter, right? He just killed a 12-point buck, but he's worried it's disease because he doesn't want to eat it. So then he sends it in. They're not going to get the antler or skull back or anything. So when you send it in, they're not going to give you your antlers back and your skull back or anything. So just know that. But the threat is really to the animal itself. It's not supposed to be transmittable to humans, right? That's what I've read.
Right.
So this is specifically for the deer and the elk community, and they don't recommend people eating a deer that has this disease. So that's what I know about it. That's not everything to know about it. But we'll play the video and we'll just take a look at it too.
CWD is kind of like the zombie deer
Right.
you see. Now, I've never seen something like this in Pennsylvania. This is a management area, so I imagine it's tested positive here. So, does anybody have anything like this in their neck of the woods? Or
there you go. That's all I got. Just a quick ask, and I did get a comment. And this guy says this guy's from PA. He says we have very few deer anymore. Yet the Game Commission wants to sell licenses to hunt. We have hardly any deer in northern there of PA. So hunters don't like it, dude. And I talked to a few people that hunt, and they say they're putting these up, and then they're limiting tags and everything in the woods. So I don't know really jack shit about it, to be completely honest. I just know these are popping up, and nobody's talking about it. So
I know what that is.
I want to hear you. Yeah. I don't want to hear zombie apocalypse either. I've been watching Walking Dead for 2 months, rewatching it all. So this was like, here we go, zombies.
Now, listen, there are two big things that are going on right now in the United States. One is CWD, which is chronic wasting disease. The other that Michigan people are having right now is EHD.
EHD.
Epizootic hemorrhagic disease. They're finding deers that, so EHD is a viral disease that's transmitted by some biting flies. It causes symptoms like fever, swelling, drooling.
Yeah, I pulled it up. I got it. Oh,
and
man, this poor animals too.
Yeah, and chronic wasting disease is something that's completely different. They're not the same.
No.
Okay?
They have articles.
EHD has periodically affected deer across the U.S., including Missouri and other states for decades, and it has significant short-term impacts on the deer population, but it's never been shown to have a long-term impact on the population in general. EHD, this hemorrhagic thing that's going on, like in other states, in Michigan, and things like that. Totally different disease, and but they're finding deer. Okay, and this is a clip moment.
Go ahead.
The reason why you don't drink from natural springs unless you've got a filter is for things like this, everybody. There's dead animals that are floating. Deer are some pretty big dead animals, and they're diseased.
And that takes years for a river to not years, but it takes a long time.
What multiplies with compounds of this issue and why natural springs can be affected is that a lot of states are having a drought right now.
Yeah.
So the bacterial count will go through the roof. Okay.
That's what it says. The insects live in the dry mud. So when the mud all dries out, it forms like an infestation for them. So it does. They're hoping for a good frost, and the frost kills all that shit.
Yep, it's a frost and more rain. We need more rain, here in the Northeast. But
see, you'd think rain would increase that, but it really helps them.
Rain helps it so that the deer don't get sick. The deer drinking from infected areas,
and then I was reading that CWD can last in the soil and in water for over 2 years or more. So
so there's going to be lots of open permits out there to take down the buck population. That way the does aren't they're not breeding, they're not spreading it, they're not doing anything like that, but they want to do an open season in a lot of states now because of this. And if you go on YouTube, you can see videos of people finding floating dead stags, bucks in lakes and rivers.
Yeah,
and they're pulling them out. And same thing, they're
testing their heads.
calling the Department of Game Wardens, and they're reporting it. So if you come across a dead deer, report it to your local game warden.
Yeah.
That way they can track this
I would
disease.
love to talk to a game warden about this, or the guy that's got to get the deer heads and process them. I'd hang out with them. I'd be like, dude, you want to do an interview or something? So if you're the head guy, hit me up.
Well, not only that, don't forget, we have what are they called? Northwoods Law. That's really big on discovering all these channels where you have Maine game wardens and New Hampshire fishing game wardens.
Yeah.
And Vermont fishing game wardens. It might be beneficial for me to make a phone call and see if we can get one of these guys.
I would love for an expert to give me the lowdown on this, because we're just researching like a normal person would after running into something like that, and they don't want to get freaked out because they're hiking there. You know what I mean? They just want to educate themselves. So the last thing I want to bring up, can humans get this disease? It says no, humans cannot get EHD. Even if you are bitten and infected by a gnat, you will not get EHD. The answer to this question relative to CWD, this is what scares me, zombies, apocalypse, is not too clear. To date, it appears there's a barrier that prevents humans from getting it, even after eating prions from the infected deer or elk. So even though people have been eating this confirmed, they have not gotten any of the side effects. But here's what's scary.
Why? Because they cook the meat. That's why.
However, some scientists who are concerned about CWD because of this happened with mad cow disease. Humans initially ate the infected beef and didn't get the disease until about 10 years later.
Yeah, it morphs.
So,
we all know that. Proteins morph, and the prions. Yeah,
man. So what?
That's some heavy microbiology right there. When you're talking
this
about
is
prions,
something to keep on everybody's radar. If you're if you're a backpacker, if you're a homesteader, and you think this is something that may or may not affect you, it doesn't matter. Blah blah blah. Well, the forest. Whoever's running your forest areas in your state, they're not checking your private land too much. So if you kill a deer and you have this free service nearby, I might consider dumping a head in if you're a landowner or something. I mean, would you not, or what?
Well, no.
Would you want it tested, or you don't care?
No, if I found anything I find dead, I'm gonna look at it.
Like if you found a dead deer sitting in your river and his face was melty, and you're wondering,
calling the game warden.
You're wondering if a bear was at it or what? Yeah.
I'm calling a game warden, okay? Because I need to report it to the appropriate officials in my state as what's going on, so that they have a heads up and they know what's going on.
Not to freak people out, but it is something to potentially look at. And if it does get serious, we just saw people not allowed to hike, because of wildfires and all this other stuff. Like, are they going to be able to use these diseases down the road to keep people from, doing stuff? We don't know. But the hunters think they're using these kind of areas to kind of, they're not happy. There's multiple reasons.
I'm going to give you a cheat sheet how you can tell if a white-tailed deer died from CWD, chronic wasting, or if it died from EHD, epizootic hemorrhagic disease. If it died from EHD, it's got a blue tongue.
Yeah, that's what it said. Yeah, blue tongue or BT.
Blue tongue. So the CWD, it's not going to have a blue tongue. So that's a cheat sheet for you, so you know. But any dead big game that you find out in the woods, you're going to report that to Fish and Game. Without a doubt. Are they going to come out right away? Probably not, because it's already dead. But when you may not know that there is a wasting disease epidemic going on right now in certain states.
No, and I don't see people yelling it from the mountaintop either. But dude, if there's something going on in a small scale, I think it's happening in a bigger scale, and they're trying to maybe start managing certain areas to just see how bad it is.
It just means that there's too many deer. That's what it means.
Yeah.
There's too many deer right now, so you've got to bring the population down. And the way to bring that population down is to have the hunters
start blasting them. Okay. Deer kill a lot of people too with car accidents in Pennsylvania, jumping out in front of them.
Well,
they're worried about that too.
They do that here in Maine too, and that's where the open seasons come in. But you've got to report it. the other thing, if you want to read a great article about it, NorthAmericanWhitetail.com has a great article where it talks about it. It comes from, whitetail hunters aspect. Hunters and foragers, we're the first ones that are notifying Fish and Game when we see an imbalance in the ecosystem that's out in the woods. So, NorthAmericanWhitetail.com's got a great article on it. I highly encourage you guys to look it up and to read about it if you want to know about it. And it goes without saying, you find something dead. First of all, you're going to smell it if it's not on a lake. If it's on a lake, you're still going to smell it, but you're really going to smell it out in the woods.
Yeah,
and
dude.
So I don't recommend following a death smell because it could be a bear or a big cat that's eating it or storing kill up in a tree, but if you come across a smell, just a heads up, don't chase it. Just keep walking. If you stumble across it, that's one thing, call Fish and Game, but be very careful, chasing that death smell out in the woods because you never know what's eating it.
That's pretty much all we got. Just hit our hour on Facebook. Thanks for joining, and that's all I got. Be careful out there and be aware of your forest and new things. Learn new things.
Yes. Okay. Everybody, eat your mushrooms. Eat your mushrooms. Please eat your mushrooms. They're good for you, and it reduces your risk of cancer by 25% or more.
Probably more.
If you eat even white button cultivated that you get, you reduce your risk of cancer if you have 3 or 4 servings a week. And Sarah, our loyal OG, she's hated mushrooms her whole life, and now she eats mushrooms all the time.
We're proud of you.
I'm very proud of her. I really am. So eat your mushrooms. Be kind to everybody, especially yourself, and keep your hands to your damn self while doing it all. Take your tinctures. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Go Eagles.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Dallas sucks. See you. All right, YouTube. We are ending it. One person is watching. Hey, thank you for watching on YouTube. I'm not sure how many people popped in and out. No comments, but that's okay. We'll be here next Thursday. Check you later.
Bye-bye.
Hey, subscribe too. What you? I'm begging you.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube and our Spotify.